Hello, good evening. It's News 360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabo.
And I am Martin Asiedu Data. Let's bring you the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
We've laid the foundations that may not yet be visible, but are sustainable for the progress of our country, both within our country and in the international community.
President John Mahama calls on Ghanaians to prepare for a challenging year as he pledges to ensure equitable development and progress across the country.
And also tonight, Tema Meridian youth protest alleged sale of Meridian Hotel as they destroy fence well constructed by redeveloper.
And later in the bulletin, Rubber Farmers Association of Ghana reject processors call for complete raw rubber export ban.
In business news, Asante Hino 24 say to the second challenges Bank of Ghana to accelerate further decline in interest rates to deliver real economic relief for Ghanaians.
On the international front, Venezuelan interim leader Delcy Rodriguez sacks general in charge of Nicolas Maduro's guard. We have details of all these stories and more. Be part of the show. Do let us hear from you on the stories we have for you tonight.
In our first story, President John Mahama has cautioned Ghanaians to brace themselves for a demanding year ahead while pledging development and progress in every part of the country. Speaking at a non-denominational Thanksgiving service to mark his first year in office, the president warned that 2026 would test the nation's resolve, patience and discipline, but insists it would also present opportunities to accelerate growth.
Exactly 365 days, the president took an oath before thousands of Ghanaians, televised to millions across the world. A second coming that has targeted leadership of service, humility and inclusion, and sacrifice.
This is the electronic transfer levy repeal bill.
With a firm focus on revamping the economy inherited on its knees, John Mahama is clearly targeted in his approach to resetting, rebuilding and refocusing the country that was once a shining star of Africa. Recent ratings have given him an over 60% approval by the populace, but he appears unmoved to be carried away as he posits a much more resolve in growth and development of the country.
As we look back on the past year, we do so honestly. We have taken difficult decisions. We have undertaken difficult reforms. We've laid the foundations that may not yet be visible, but are sustainable for the sustainable progress of our country. We have prioritized economic stabilization, institutional reform, social protection, and the restoration of confidence, both within our country and in the international community. The work we have begun is far from finished, but today reminds us that progress is not measured only by numbers and by charts and diagrams. It is also measured by hope that is restored, by trust that is rebuilt, and correct direction that is regained.
A year on and ticking many of the boxes of targets set for himself, he further wants to go a notch higher, citing economic stabilization, institutional reform, social protection and the restoration of both domestic and international confidence as key priorities over the past 12 months, he reaffirmed his administration's commitment to what he described as ethical leadership, service above self, and governance anchored in integrity, competence, and compassion.
We recommit ourselves to listening, especially to the voices of our vulnerable, our youth, and those who feel excluded. And we recommit ourselves to the unity of our nation, knowing that Ghana's strength has always come from our ability to rise above division and work together for the common good.
Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Jubilee House, Accra.
And it's been exactly a year, so let's find out what the general perception will be from Ghanaians, on how they would rate the president and his current administration. Professor Enoch Opoku-Entry is a governance analyst and expert. He's joined us for a quick conversation on this. Prof, a very good evening to you. Thank you for your time. My first question would be, what is your general assessment of President Mahama's first year of the 4-year tenure given to him by Ghanaians?
Good evening and greetings to your viewers everywhere in the world. My assessment would be that there have been very notable, visible achievements for the past 1 year, and that gives the government a solid foundation to build upon in year 2, 3, and 4. We're talking about worldviews, and worldviews is the framework that we use to interpret the world and our place in it. So different people will have different perspectives or worldviews about his administration, but I can talk about a lot of interventions. Now, if you're talking about economic indicators, in Africa, all the 54 countries, top 3, Ghana is in there because of his good governance the first 1 year. So he has weaved the economy into a very holistic construct, whipping all the economic indicators in line. And I'm talking about 5.4% inflation rate. Now we're talking about the city hovering around 10.9. We're talking about a lot of economic prudent measures that is really good for the nation. So low interest rate, and then we have a lot of businesses that are springing up because people can have access to credit. When we talk about the environmental initiatives, we're talking about he has banned illegal mining in forest reserves. Remember, about 50 of them were taken over, and he has banned the mining in those forest reserves. Then he's launched the Blue Water Initiative, which is good in helping to make sure that our water comes back to the normal sea blue that we have all been waiting for. Then the Tree for Life restoration. So that is the environmental initiatives. We all have to know that the environment is also a stakeholder in whatever we do. And if government don't do it and NGOs don't do it, then who is going to do it? So the president has done great in that field. And let's talk about social interventions. Free tertiary education for first-year students and persons with disabilities. For far too long, we had ignored those with disabilities. Most of them have nobody to take care of them. They were taking care of themselves. And government had compassion on them. And I like that policy. We're also talking about Mahama Cares Fund for chronic diseases. Chronic diseases has been an area that has been ignored by previous governments. And to take that bold decision to take care of chronic diseases in our system, I think is a great thing. Okay. We also have free sanitary pads for female students. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So clearly, you seem to have actually followed very closely all the interventions the current administration has introduced and the policies in that direction. But they are beginning the second year of the term. What advice would you proffer that they focus on? What things should they focus on? Which things should they do less of or totally do away with going forward?
I think we should focus more on job hubs. So making sure that academia work with industry, and then even the students that we are churning out will be more job ready for our system. The way our curriculum is, we've been teaching to suit in the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. We still need to make sure that we train our students to be job ready. And I think that jobs, now that every department is hiring, remember, if you build them, you need that solid foundation to build upon. And he's done that within the first year. Now, what we need is that individuals need more loans, personal loans, to start their own businesses and then they will hire people. Government should help in that.
Right.
I've just been told that because of the new tax reforms, people can file for tax credits and then using their VAT and all those things. That is a great thing because if you come to any advanced country, tax returns are very huge in people claiming back most money that they have spent in the economy. So that is a great thing. I'm also looking for the $1 million coders.
Right.
That has been linked with the Kofi Annan Center, and it's a great thing because anytime we are talking about training, we need certification to support that you have trained, and this is an evidence. And I like the way he has done that. Institutional reforms, the Constitutional Review Committee report is awesome. I kept saying at different platforms that is the best Christmas gift we've ever had. For 33 years, the reason why Ghana was not moving forward was that many tenets of our Constitution were updated. And that reform that he has done is going to help us to move forward, to build a great institution of inclusivity and specificity. So I think that he's done a great thing in doing that. Moving forward, what we have to, guard against the ones that much has not been achieved is ORA.
Right. Fighting
ORA,
fighting corruption.
People who have looted our resources, the Ghanaians are still waiting for them to be prosecuted, to be sent to jail, or for the asset to be confiscated and to become a deterrent to those who want to go into governance and then steal.
Professor Enokenchi, thank you so much for at least making time to give us your analysis and assessment of the current administration.
Meanwhile, some spare parts dealers at Okai have lauded the president's first year in office. While at it, they are also calling for interventions to consolidate the gains made towards business sustainability.
The traders appreciated the government's efforts in stabilizing the city and the import market.
Last year, nyama okoso yebedi brain nyama okoso nyama ne boy din bibi say amona ade ne angwano the way ne boy peja okoso no ama time we afu this year December we say nyama ko fom no me na okoye ma me pa
at least mama no be 65%. So why are there the okoye ma say e say aduane ayedi oman bia na aduane no kofama aduane no bo kofama e mama oman no members ewo mi no omo ye free dollar na agina no aboyen.
For some, a swift implementation of the much talked about 24-hour economy policy would be progressive.
As we come, we say 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy, no, still now, me, myself, haven't seen nothing.
What percentage will you give him?
I'll give him like 40%.
As the president enters his subsequent year in office, the traders are expectant of further improvements.
As a business person, we want the banks to give a lot of loans to individuals so that they can establish, people can establish more businesses so that they can employ people. Because if you go to America, Asia, and all those places, they run 24 hours. Yeah, they are doing the same thing. So if we run that 24 hours, I think it will be better for us.
I appreciate the work the president is doing concerning the bread and butter issues as well as interventions for business sustainability. They would want him to do a lot more when it comes to security and also his much talked about 24-hour economy policy so that there will be a lot of jobs for young people who do not have any form of work to do. So from here at the Okai Spare Part Hub, it is mixed reactions. While others have praised the president, others also want him to do more.
Now, some civil society organizations, specifically Arise Ghana, says despite some government interventions in key economic sectors, the fight against corruption and illegal mining has been unsatisfactory. The group, during a news conference in Accra, also demanded the repatriation of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to face justice with an impending picket to press their demand.
On the issue of Galamsey, I think we've been very clear in the past that it's an existential threat to all Ghanaians, including those of us seated here and those of you who are broadcasting. We would expect that the president continues with the good work that they are doing, not only with the gold board, because note, if there's no incentive to go and dig, no one will mine. If the gold board stops the smuggling of gold and aggregating of gold is done, our economy will improve and Galamsey will stop. And we believe that the president will not and must not shield anyone. We want to also entreat the Speaker of Parliament, who has indicated that he will not shield any Galamsey MPs, to take his word and mean it and act upon it. Oral is Operation Recover all the loot and not some of the loot. And so we would want all the loot to be recovered. But we've listened to the Ghanaian people. We continue to listen to the Ghanaian people. So you will join us when we go to the American Embassy, for example, to picket for the American Embassy to allow Ken to come back and face justice, just like they want some heads of state in some countries to face justice back in America.
In more news tonight, the 5 suspects who assaulted a tutor at Kede Senior High Technical School have been remanded to reappear on January 20, 2026. The Ghana Police Service, in collaboration with the Cyber Security Unit, earlier arrested the 5 suspects. The arrest followed the circulation of a viral video showing a group of individuals believed to be both current and former students of the school assaulting the tutor. The attack was allegedly sparked by the teacher's refusal to allow the suspects to engage in examination malpractice during last year's West African Senior School Certificate exams. The Eastern Regional Chairman of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, Godwin Awunoyivu, confirmed the arrest and said they reflect efforts to hold perpetrators of violence against educators accountable under Ghanaian law.
Still on education, Prosper Techi has been elected the new president of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAGRAT. Prosper Techi secured 436 votes, representing 61.8% of the total votes cast, to defeat the incumbent president, Reverend Isaac Owusu, who obtained 266 votes, accounting for about 38% of total votes cast.
Unionism thrives on 3 legs. You are looking at the professional development, membership, education. You are looking at unfair labor practices, and then the economic and warfare needs of our members. And already we have started some projects within Ashanti region, and we are hoping to translate some of these programs and projects on the national front to ensure that our teachers nationwide will benefit from some of the initiatives and policies. And going forward, we wish to see NAD becoming an association of choice, where within the teaching fraternity, when you mention unions, the first union that will come to mind should be NAD.
Let's now go to the Western region, where the Rubber Farmers Association of Ghana, RUFAG, has denounced the call by rubber processors for a complete ban on raw rubber exports, arguing it is not motivated by national interest. According to the association, it is a deliberate attempt to monopolize the markets, suppress competition, and force farmers to sell rubber capulums at artificially low prices. Irama Smith has more.
In a protest at the Western Regional Coordinating Council to submit their petition to the regional minister for onward submission to the president and the Minister of Trade and Industry, members of the association, clad in red bands, the secretary, Michael Nyakun, who presented the petition, indicated it is not a measure to protect industrialization, but a deliberate strategy to suppress competition and force farmers to accept artificially low prices, while challenging the claim that processors are the sector's primary job creators. He stated that while the processing plants employ fewer than 1,000 people, the broader farming and supply chain support hundreds of thousands.
They are pushing for an export ban. It's not about protecting national industrialization. It is a deliberate attempt to monopolize the market, suppress competition, and force farmers to sell rubber cap plums at artificially low prices.
The association insists Ghana currently lacks advanced rubber processing factories and questions the kind of processing the domestic processors are undertaking.
We are asking stakeholders to know that TSR is also a raw material and never a processed commodity.
The association argued that genuine industrialization is built on innovation, investment, and competitiveness, not on protectionist policies that harm farmers.
After more than 5 decades of operation, the Ghana Rubber Estate and their French allies have not transitioned into the production of finished rubber goods such as car tires, gloves, belt, or medical supplies. Genuine industrialization requires innovation, investment, and competitiveness, not protectionist policy that penalize farmers.
The Western Regional Minister, Joseph Nelson, who received the petition, assured them of government's firm commitment to protecting their interests and securing a sustainable future for their work.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and ND Saban.
We are all aware that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC government did not come to collapse the rubber business industry. We recognize that this industry comprises farmers and an entire value chain. Therefore, the government will critically examine the industry in its entirety to find a lasting and sustainable solution.
Irama Smith, TV3 News, 2nd D.
And from the Western region, let's come back to the Greater Accra region, specifically to the Tema Enclave, where erected walls for the redevelopment of the defunct Tema Meridian Hotel have been pulled down for the 3rd time by irate youth of Tema. The protesters are demanding that the site be returned to the stool, which they claim holds their ancestral heritage. George Queening has more on this report.
The Quays have lived close to the iconic Tema Meridian Hotel for more than 20 years. Ethel Quay, who is now 48 years old, virtually knows every story surrounding this landmark. Her grandfather gave her all the essential history there is to know.
The new town people have been coming around. I learned that's their deity. And then our grandpa also told us that when they were about to build Meridian Builder, the hotel itself, when they came back, the caterpillar came and they cut the tree. By the time they returned back, it was a full tree. Some of the junkies, they've been bringing the waste from Committee 1 all the way to this place.
The hotel, which was commissioned by the first president, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in 1960, is now a pale shadow of itself. It has become a hideout for miscreants and a place of convenience for several households without toilets. The facility has also been turned into a refuse dump site by some people.
That is a baobab tree right behind me, and also the ancestral home to the people of Tema. Anytime there's a festival, let's say the Pleasure or Homoa Festival, they come here to invoke the necessary blessings that accompany these festivals. There are a lot of stories surrounding this very ancestral home.
These police officers rushed to the site after seeing updates on air. Irate youth of Tema are protesting the alleged sale of the site to a private developer. For the 3rd time, a fence wall constructed for the redevelopment has been demolished.
We are doing it for posterity. I just imagine that my children will come and all the songs that has been sung, that Meridian Hotel is like this, it's like this. One day, a private man will just come, squash everything down, and then the place will be used like track yard, whatever. And we will not even see a trace of it. More importantly, our umbilical cord is there. That tree has been attempted to, to be brought down several times, and it's not coming. That should tell you that as human beings, we are also spirits, and there are spirits everywhere.
Date of its alleged sale have been contradictory.
This is just the beginning, and we have gone to TMA to ask them whether they have hand in it. When the MP is telling us it is a stand of the TDC. Yes, because TDC, the man check, is also telling me that that place was sold to Octoglow 2015. We will find out whether that is also the case, because what we are hearing is around 2007.
For the indigents, this is a site that needs to be preserved. Authorities, however, want some development brought to the community. It remains to be seen whether a fine balance can be achieved in reaching a common goal. Only time will tell. George Quinnin, TV3 News, Tema Meridian Hotel.
And away from Tema, Executive Secretary of the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons, Dr. Adam Bona, says compliance has been encouraging in the ongoing gun amnesty program, with thousands of weapons already surrendered. Dr. Bona warns that those who fail to comply by the deadline risk arrest and prosecution.
Millions of illicit small arms and light weapons are currently in circulation, fueling crime across the country. As part of its national security strategy, government launched the Gun Amnesty Program to curb the proliferation of illicit arms and reduce violence. To ensure effective surrendering of unregistered firearms, officials are sensitizing communities and touring regions to educate citizens. The Executive Secretary of the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons, Dr. Adam Bona, confirmed that thousands of weapons have already been retrieved.
Some of who are suspected to have weapons have already voluntarily, they've surrendered the weapons without themselves knowing that someone had already given us a tip-off that ABD has a weapon. But once the amnesty ends, it means that we are not waiting for you. You will be arrested. Thousands of these weapons that have been coming in, being surrounded, these are weapons that, have been used, maybe, or would have been used to foment trouble in this country.
Dr. Bona also revealed that the informant regime will be revived, with compensation packages for reliable informants once the amnesty period ends.
We put together a very good informant regime where those who have these weapons, their friends, their girlfriends, their husbands, their wives, their children would report to us. Once we do, we effect the arrest, and then the weapon, which will be a form of exhibit and a form of evidence, is retrieved. That person is paid. The informant is paid, and it's anonymous. So information will not even be given out.
Fraud and security consultant Richard Kumado explains that strict measures have been put in place to ensure weapons collected do not find their way back onto the streets.
With my engagement with the Small Arms Commission and with the little I have seen, they have a standard procedure for collecting the arms, and they have a standard routine for numbering the arms, and they have a standard protocol for safety and storage and retrieval. Should any of these arms find it into society, questions to be asked, sanctions to be applied.
The Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons hopes the amnesty program will go a long way to support security agencies keep the public safe.
We're going into some unfortunate news now. 3 people died on the spot after a passenger bus rammed into a trailer truck at Sambroso in the Ofinso South municipality Wednesday morning. The bus, with registration number GT 5509-20, was traveling from Techiman to Kumasi when the accident occurred. Eyewitnesses say the bus crashed into the middle of the truck as it was accessing the main road from a depot. The victims were rushed to the Ofinso St. Patrick Hospital and other nearby health facilities for treatment. The deceased have been moved to the mortuary at St. Patrick Hospital.
And in Accra, the Wages Sector Command of the Ghana Immigration Service has arrested 11 foreign nationals allegedly involved in counterfeit money printing and cyber fraud activities at a residential apartment in Tuba, Accra. A statement signed by Deputy Commissioner of Immigration Maud Inimakwenu said the suspects were apprehended on January 5, 2026 during an intelligence-led operation conducted by the Anti-Human Trafficking and Cyber Fraud Task Force Unit of the Wages Sector Command. The suspects are currently in custody as investigations continue.
You're still watching News 360, the 7th January 2026 edition. Stay with us. We'll be back with more.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obudu. Now, the Asantehene Otumfuo II has called on the Bank of Ghana to find ways to accelerate the pace of interest rate reduction to stimulate domestic private investment and support Ghana's economic recovery amid declining monetary policy rate. He made the call during a royal visit to the governor and management of the central bank at the Bank Square in Accra.
His Royal Majesty commended the governor and his team for stabilizing the cedi after a difficult period, noting that economic recovery depends on maintaining the right policy direction. He said high interest rates continue to constrain business growth and urged the central bank to creatively transition the economy from what he described as a crippling high interest regime.
This moment calls for a massive push to stimulate domestic private investment in industry. That cannot happen with interest at their current cutthroat rate and level. The challenge I leave with your creative brains is to fashion how you move the economy from the crippling high interest regime to the level where it becomes a stimulant of business and wealth creation.
The Asantehene also appealed for the political independence of the central bank to be protected, cautioning against actions that could undermine public confidence in the institution.
Ideally, this citadel should be a fortress, insulated from the strings and arrows of political warfare. Whatever it is, we should think twice before we do anything which has the capacity to cast a stain on the integrity of the bank.
Meanwhile, the governor of the Bank of Ghana assured the Asantehene of the central bank's commitment to building a stable, productive and competitive economy anchored on discipline, credibility and long-term national values. He pledged to pursue policies aimed at significantly lowering interest rates as part of efforts to strengthen the real economy and support private sector growth.
Nana, market rates have followed this trend, easing financial conditions while maintaining prudence. And Nana, I have said on many occasions that my prayer and my wish is that by the end of my tenure, that lending rates will not be more than 10% in this country.
Ghana's inflation has hit its lowest level in 4 years, closing 2025 at 5.4%. The latest figures from the Ghana Statistical Service point to a sustained slowdown in price increases.
The headline inflation rate dropped to 5.4% in December 2025, the lowest since the rebasing of the Consumer Price Index in 2021. The figures cap a year-long slowdown in price increases, signaling a steady easing of inflationary pressures. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, December marked the 12th consecutive month of disinflation.
This means that, on average, goods and services cost 5.4% more than they did in December 2024. This result is significant, as inflation has now declined for 12 consecutive months. It fell from 6.3% in November 2025 and from 23.8% in December 2024.
Presenting the figures in Accra, government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu said the Consumer Price Index stood at 261.7 compared with 240.8 a year earlier, underscoring the sustained slowdown in inflation.
This represents a 22.9 percentage point decline over the year. This matters because food accounts for about 43% of household spending. Lower food inflation directly eases pressure on household budgets.
With inflation easing, attention now turns to how households and businesses will respond to the lower cost environment and whether the trend can be sustained into 2026.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obudu. We'll bring you updates now from the currency and the commodities market.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Billy Shen, all the way from Rabat in Morocco. Now, to our first story, former Ghana international Lai Kingston has labeled Antoine Semenyo's impending move to Manchester City as great for his career and has urged the Black Stars technical team to build the side around him.
It's great news for him and his family. And, he's done so well for himself. For over 3 seasons now, he's been very consistent in his performance, scoring goals, 100 games, 29 goals as an attacker. It doesn't come easy like that. It comes with a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and you can see he's paying off. The beginning of the season, I remember granted an interview somewhere and say he's a player to watch. And for me, I think I keep saying that it's long overdue for the Black Stars to try and build the team around him. Because I know a lot of people are complaining when it comes to the team. They don't see what he's doing in the Premier League. And one thing they should understand is different managers, different philosophy, different ideology. But he is someone that Ghana should look up to. Ghana should build the team around him. Yeah. The way I play, if I have Semenyo in my team, it will be a weapon for me. It will be a weapon because of the qualities he has. He's fast, very strong. Technically, he's good, 1v1s, and he's finishing. Trust me.
Now, the president of Ghana Athletics, Bawa Fuseini, expressed his gratitude after a memorandum of understanding was reached involving the sports ministry for Ghana to host the African Senior Athletics Championships. Now, the Athletics Championships will be taking place in the University of Ghana Stadium from May 12, 2026 to May 17, 2026.
And for me, it's the happiest day in my life. For the first time, Ghana has given that sole responsibility to host such a program. It has never happened before. And Honorable Minister, under your tutelage that this has happened, we could not have been more proud to be a Ghanaian at this moment. Because hosting African Championship, it comes with a lot of benefits. It comes with a lot of experience. It comes with a lot of equipment. It comes with a lot of commercials, things. And when we organize, and I know we are going to organize and run a successful event, Ghana and Ghana Athletics will never be the same again.
Now in Europe, Manchester United's caretaker manager Darren Fletcher has stated that he is focused currently on the short-term projects that he's been handed the job to do and is not looking forward to taking on a long-term job. Now, Darren Fletcher came in to replace Ruben Amorim, who was recently sacked as the head coach of Manchester United.
Well, for a game, it's to try and win a football match against Burnley. I think I've had a few different roles at the club, obviously coaching the under-18s just now. My focus and energy every time I've been at the club in whatever role is always to do the best for Manchester United and try and help the club, help the people that I'm working with, the players, the staff, and try and do everything I can to help Manchester United be successful. And as we say, everyone expects Manchester United to be on the top and winning. That's the standard. That's what we all have to try and achieve. That's the standard that's set for everyone at the club. And I just do my best in whatever role I'm in to help make that happen.
That's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishen, reporting all the way from Morocco.
Hello again, coming up international news.
The general in command of Venezuela's presidential honor guard, Javier Macano Tabata, has been sacked days after Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro was seized by U.S. forces in a raid and taken to New York to stand trial on narco-terrorism charges. The order to replace General Macano Tabata was issued by the new interim president, Delcy Rodriguez. The Presidential Honor Guard is the military force which provides the bodyguards tasked with protecting the head of state. While the Venezuelan government has not yet provided a detailed breakdown of casualties, members of the Guard are thought to be among the dozens of people killed in the U.S. operation to seize Maduro. She announced the seizure of Maduro as an illegal kidnapping, but has also said that her government had invited the U.S. government to work together on an agenda of cooperation. Her actions are being watched closely both inside and outside of Venezuela to gauge what course she may steer now that she is in charge. She may steer now that she is in charge of the country, and for signs of any potential rifts in her government. A plot to kill Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has been thwarted. The security minister said in a late-night broadcast that a sophisticated plan had been hatched by Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Damiba, the military officer ousted by Traoré in September 2022. Mahamadou Sana said he had planned to assassinate the head of state and then strike other key institutions, including civilian personalities. He further alleged that the plot had been funded from neighboring Ivory Coast.
It's now time for entertainment news.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by GTP Lifestyle
and Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, the Palms Convention Center came alive with joy and worship as hundreds of patrons converged for Ghana in Praise 2026, a grand gospel gathering that brought believers together in praise and thanksgiving. The Ghana Tourism Authority described the event as a national moment of gratitude, unity, and spiritual renewal, highlighting gospel music as a powerful force for national cohesion. The Ghana Tourism Authority began the year on a high note with a powerful praise and worship event dubbed Ghana in Praise. Held at the Palms Convention Center, the event attracted worshippers, gospel music lovers, families, and visitors from across Ghana and the diaspora. Themed One Nation, One Praise, Ghana in Praise sought to create a shared space for reflection and celebration as the country entered the new year. The night featured inspiring performances and ministrations from a stellar lineup of renowned gospel artists including Mercy Chinwo, Steve Crown, Joyce Blessing, Empress Gifty, Ada Ehi, Nasi, Noble Nketia, and many others. The GTA described the event as a national moment of gratitude, unity, and spiritual renewal, with gospel music serving as a powerful unifying force.
Honestly, I feel honored by Ghanaians coming here tonight to support Ghana in Praise. I mean, I believe that if we start everything with God, there's nothing we cannot surmount. There's nothing we cannot do. The blessings of God are abound in Ghana. And it is only right for us to serve God. It is only right to praise Him. And I'm delighted that Ghanaians joined GTA in praising Him. In general, we've been very successful with December and GH. And we cannot end December in GH by thanking God.
And now to some more stories. Ghanaian music duo R2Bs have scored an unexpected global milestone as their 2017 hit single Over has officially entered the UK Afrobeats chart nearly a decade after its original release. The late chart resurgence highlights the enduring appeal of the song, which has recently gained renewed attention on digital platforms and social media. Over, originally released in 2017, remains one of R2B's most celebrated tracks, known for its infectious melody and relatable lyrics. The UK Afrobeat chart, which tracks the most popular Afrobeat songs in the United Kingdom, has become a key indicator of global interest in African music. R2B's entry onto the chart underscores the growing international recognition of Ghanaian music and the timeless nature of the duo's work. Fans have taken to social media to celebrate the achievement, describing it as proof that good music never fades. The chart's success also reinforces R2B's influence in shaping modern Afrobeats and their continued relevance in the global music space. R2Bs, made up of Mugiz and Omar Sterling, are widely regarded as pioneers of Ghana's contemporary sound, and this latest achievement adds another milestone to their storied career.
Time I saw that thing they go. Making me pretty girl. Why you do me so? Oh, why you do me so? Oh, that me sweetie darling, I am falling. Can't you see I know the feet they go? Oh, I know the feet they go. As I did sleep, I be counting my ceiling. Oh my God, what I'm feeling.
Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Yeah, so that's actually one of our favorite songs, and Noella
Whose
can
favorite?
attest.
Your favorite?
We're actually singing in the background, but I mean R2B's they've been able to sustain their relevance over time.
Yeah.
You know, most of the people who started with R2B's have faded out, but to be recognized in the UK of all places, it gives
Ghana
some
to the whole
global
USA.
relevance to you as well. Well, on the back of that, we want to say a big thank you to you for staying with us for the last hour. I am Martin Esiedudate.
And I am Portia Gabodu. Join Alfredo Kansei at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Good evening.